1% a day compounds to 3,600% in a year. And so, what I'm trying to capture is that 3,600% growth in all these areas of life that I've particularly chosen goals for, and then identified daily minimum standards to.
Welcome. This is the Hot Real Estate Investing Podcast, a podcast dedicated to helping others through real estate investing. Our hosts interview guests from all aspects of real estate investing who generously share valuable experiences and advice. Whether you're starting out or an experienced investor, this is the show for you.
Hello, and how's it going? My name is Travis Shelton, and welcome to the Hot Real Estate Investing Podcast, where we focus on the mindset, motivation, and methodologies of successful real estate investors. And today we're going to discuss a topic that I don't think has gotten enough press out there in the real estate investing world. It's something that I learned from Brandon Turner. Everybody knows Brandon Turner at this point, big time real estate investor, was one of the OGs on the Bigger Pockets podcast. And it's a quote that it's something that I found that he posted on social media. He talks about it a little bit, but I don't think he actually talks about it enough. And that's daily minimum standards. And so today we're going to talk about, number one, what the heck are daily minimum standards? Why daily minimum standards are important, or why I've kind of incorporated them into my life, and then how you can start identifying some of the daily minimum standards for your own personal life to move yourself forward, both in life and in real estate investing. Okay, so number one, what the heck are daily minimum standards? Okay, so Brandon Turner, he made this post a couple years ago, and I really, really identified with it. And he was basically saying, what are the minimum things that you have to get done every day to move yourself forward? And trying to identify some of those things that, let's take real estate investing. Maybe it's something very simple like, hey, I'm overwhelmed with all these deals. I can't underwrite 10 deals a day. So it's talking about find one deal, underwrite one deal a day, right? Hey, I can't call 50 brokers. I have a full-time W-2. I can't connect with all these. Call one broker a day, right? And so what it is trying to identify things that you need to get done or you want to get done, and being able to break them down into bite-sized chunks. We've talked a lot about goals recently, and I think one of the toughest things about goals, right, and one of the reasons why goals aren't accomplished is because you create this, intangible object of a goal. And really what we need to do with our goals is break them down to bite-sized chunks and action items that you can do. And for me, I like to check them off or mark them off as I get closer. So if I do something, maybe I get a check mark, right? And so with these daily minimum standards, what they are is it's you deciding what you want to do and what you want to accomplish every day at the very minimum. Now, can you call more than one broker? Absolutely. Can you underwrite more than one deal? Absolutely. But the minimum standard is one, right? And so you're telling yourself, you're putting this onus on yourself that I am going to do something every single day that I want to do that I knew is the right thing to do. And so, in my own life, I have these daily minimum standards in multiple aspects of my life. So, you know, I found myself, not really connecting with my friends as often as I wanted to, right? How often, or when was the last time you picked up the phone and you actually called one of your best friends? What about one of your great friends from high school or college that you guys are great friends? You guys always connect when you guys are together, but you just don't seem to connect with them very often. You get busy, you have a family, they get busy, they have a family, whatever it might be, you guys move apart. So what I kind of incorporated, in the last year or so is a daily minimum standard with my friends, right? And that's just making sure I text one friend a day and I make one phone call a week to one of my friends. And they're probably like, what the heck is Travis doing calling me, right? But it's been able to allow me to reconnect with a lot of my friends. It also allows me to say, why are my friends connecting with me, or really trying to identify those five people closest to me in life that um that I want to stay still connected to. So if you don't connect with your friends, or you're listening to this and you're thinking, man, that sounds like a good idea, I highly recommend it. It's been amazing for me to connect with a lot of my best friends my whole life that I just tended to not text or think, hey, they're three time zones away. Why am I connecting with them, or what do I have to say? But it's amazing when you connect with them, how appreciative they are, and also just how you can rekindle that great friendship again in just a matter of a few texts or a couple phone calls, and it's really amazing and it's really powerful. And one of the things I do with my life as well with my wife is I was noticing there'd be days, that went by that maybe we didn't kiss or maybe we didn't tell each other, I love you. And so one of my just really simple basic daily minimum standards is to tell my wife I love her every day, to give her a kiss every single day, and to give her a hug. I just have a HKL, right? Hug, kiss, and I love you. And I do that every single day. And I check it off because I want to make sure that my wife knows I love her and she knows it, right? But I want to tell her that every single day. And I want to give her a kiss at least every single day. And I want to give her a hug at least every single day. And when you have three kids like me and you're working a full time W-2 and you are doing real estate investing on the side and you do all the things that we have in life, you can tend to forget some of those really important things like connecting with your friends or kissing your wife or telling your family and your kids that you love them. So these are things that I've just identified within myself that I said, these are things I want to do every single day. So do them. And I've just made it a point to myself to say that these are my daily minimum standards. Now, when we transition that to real estate, what are some things that you can do within your real estate investing and some of the things that I do? So, I'm a big, big fan of Gary Keller's Millionaire Real Estate Investor. It's the blue book. If you know that those different types of blue books, not the purple book, not the red book. This is actually the blue book. And so, in this book, I really like that one of the things that Gary Keller did was look at his PFS every single day. Right. And if you don't know what a PFS is, it's your personal financial statement. Some people maybe have a one sheet, like GoBundance has a one sheet. These are wonderful tools to be able to look at every single day. And yeah, so why are you looking at your finances or your personal financial statement every single day? That's like what are you going to do? But it's actually been like a superpower for me. Every time I look at that personal financial statement, I might think to myself, "Oh, I need to update price labs to ensure I have, better occupancy at my short-term rentals. Oh, what can I do over here to decrease, maybe expenses or increase rent?" It gets my mind thinking financially every single day on how can I enhance my current properties or how can I add to my PFS or my personal financial statement? How can I add more assets to be able to grow my net worth and, potentially decrease my expenses? So it gets my mind thinking. And yeah, it doesn't mean that every single day I come up with a new idea to make money or a new way to save money, but it always gets my head churning into that personal financial statement and my total well being of saying, maybe I don't want to go out and eat dinner tonight. Maybe I want to eat at home and save some money. So whatever it might be, right? But for me, looking at that personal financial statement and just looking at my accounts, right? And my current accounts, am I overspending? Am I underspending? And am I on track for my budget? Am I off track for our budget? It's very, very powerful. So that's one way that, I got to have money to invest and I want to be able to be financially free. What's my cash flow monthly? What is it weekly? But these are things that maybe I look at quarterly. I update my personal financial statement at least quarterly, but this is something that I look at every single day because it really is a superpower to get your mind starting to think about what and how can I make more money or save more money in taxes. And so definitely recommend if you don't look at your assets or your personal financial statement or some sort of financial indicator regularly, start doing it. All right, so we talked a little bit about underwriting, right? Like to underwrite a real deal, especially a multifamily deal, it can take a long time. And you can, pencil, napkin math, numbers and get a general idea. And I do that on a lot of deals, right? You might have to look at 1,000, underwrite 100 to find one deal, right? You always hear these sorts of generalizations, but you know, underwriting a deal every single day, you're going to get faster, you're going to get quicker, you're going to be able to kind of look at the napkin math a lot quicker and easier if you get into that repetition and if you get into that consistency, right? Consistently good rather than occasionally great, and underwrite one deal a day instead of trying to do 10 or 12 or 15 in one day and all day Saturday, right? That would be miserable for me personally. But I'm looking at a deal almost every single day and I'm trying to look at it. I'm trying to see if it works. I'm trying to make sure if it hits my, buybacks numbers and everything of that nature. So, try to identify within yourself or your real estate investing, what are the steps that I need to do to be successful? All right. We talked about, maybe calling an agent every day or calling a broker. Maybe it's finding a deal online and just learning to negotiate. Call that agent, see if they're willing to take a little bit less, see what they would do if it was all cash, see what would happen if you could close quickly, right? Like start having those conversations, but don't have analysis paralysis or think that I have to call 50 people today to be successful. It can only take one to be successful. So practice, do one a day. You know, now, this is a minimum, right? So it doesn't mean that you have to only call one. It doesn't mean you only have to kiss your wife once or tell your kids you love them one time a day. It's the minimum. So, like, there's a lot of days where, yeah, I'm going to have a huge successful day doing a bunch of different things that I can really move the needle forward. But I know that by being consistent, right? And doing these daily minimum standards that I'm moving forward at least that 1% a day. And so, maybe it's one distressed sales call, right? We can all buy lists, and find distressed sellers or whatever it might be. But when you're trying to go through a big Excel document of 100 or 200 in people, and maybe you have a full time job, it can be daunting. That task can really seem overwhelming. I think a lot of things in life, especially these goals, you look up at the top of that hill and that mountain and you go, wow, how am I going to get there? And it starts with the first step, right? And then the next step. And so, what these daily minimum standards do is they allow you to take that first step. And typically, when you take that first step, you're willing to take another step and another step. And you start compounding those over time, but you hold yourself accountable to that one every single day. So, and we've talked a little bit about like what are daily minimum standards now, and I've talked to you guys a little bit about my daily minimum standards, right? And so why we've talked about that too. We've talked about, hey, you do this so that you're moving yourself forward. Okay, so what you guys want to do, we've talked a lot about goal setting now, so you should have some goals written down, especially within your real estate investing, right? So now take those down, right? And say, how can I accomplish buying a multifamily asset by the end of 2024? Okay. You're going to need your personal financial statement, right? You're going to have to get, or find partners, or you're going to have to find a deal, right? There's a lot of different avenues that you have to accomplish, right? But start with one, right? Maybe it's that I have to save $50,000. Okay. Well, do you have a goal? Are you tracking that daily? What is it? What's the minimum, daily standard that you can identify? Maybe it's you're going to eat one extra meal, a day at home so you can save money, and you're going to put that extra amount of money, that $10-15, into a savings account every single day, so that way you can start building that money up. Maybe it's you're going to start talking to brokers every single day, one a day, so that, hey, they know I'm serious, and then you can start reconnecting with them every month or every couple weeks, so that they know, hey, I'm serious, I'm a buyer in this area, and I'm looking to make a deal in 2024, and here's my buy box. And as you're consistent with that and you're consistent with your daily minimum standards, you will see progress. All of a sudden, brokers will call you, right? All of a sudden, maybe a distressed seller will call you back because you're the one that's top of mind. You're the one that's connecting with them regularly. So that's how I've been able to kind of utilize and leverage daily minimum standards, both in my life, whether it be fitness and just, trying to take a daily thank you walk, right? Very simple. Go outside, walk for 5 minutes. I live in Arizona. It's wonderful. I can walk outside and have the sun hit my face every single day, get some vitamin D, get a little bit of exercise, walk my dog. And I just talk about the things I'm thankful for. And it totally changes my mindset. Maybe I'm stressed out because of my W-2. Maybe my kids are yelling and screaming in the other room when I'm trying to work, right? But being able to step outside and say, "Hey, I'm thankful for my wife. I'm thankful for my life. I'm thankful for my wealth and my home and my three kids, Cooper, Sonny, and Brock, and I'm thankful for so much in my life." When I come back into my office, it's like my whole mindset has shifted. And so for me, one of my daily minimum standards is to do that, is to take a thank you walk every single day. I've been able to identify that really helps my mindset. Also helps, my physical to actually get out and walk, right? And so you have to find these things within yourself. So start with one. Identify one thing. If you have a loved one, I highly recommend, you know, setting a goal to hug them, kiss them, and tell them I love them every single day. It's simple, right? You can do it. It takes a couple seconds. I'm not asking you guys to run a marathon. I'm not asking you guys to celebrate Valentine's Day or a birthday every single day. Just hug them, just kiss them, just tell them you love them every single day and see where that takes your relationship. And then within real estate investing, identify those things like whether it's underwriting a deal every day, talking to a broker every day, um, identifying maybe, looking at your personal financial statement or starting to work on those things every single day that is going to move your investing forward. And I I just want to tell you guys, this has been a huge, huge thing that has allowed me to progress. Okay. And so when people look at these goals and they say, hey, you have this goal, it's really big. How are you going to ever accomplish that? It starts with, doing one thing today and then another thing tomorrow and another thing. And those things will add up and those things will ultimately lead to your success in real estate investing. So don't try to pile it all on. Don't try to be a superhero every single day. Start with one and it's amazing that one will lead you to having momentum and lead you to having more success than you would ever imagine doing just one thing a day would be. So please, if you haven't already, start thinking about what are your daily minimum standards, whether it be in life and real estate, but really this is a real estate investing podcast. So think about in real estate investing, what are some daily minimum standards you can identify that will help move your real estate investing forward? Okay. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. If you guys have more questions about daily minimum standards, feel free to hit me up. If you guys want a list of some of my daily minimum standards for real estate or life, happy to share. Just let me know. Shoot me a DM, shoot me a text. I'm happy to answer. And just, I really appreciate all the support. We just hit 1,000 downloads for this podcast. I'm super excited to be able to share this podcast with the world and really appreciate all you guys tuning in and commit to taking action today. Structure some daily minimum standards to move your real estate investing forward. Take care and God bless.